So hi, I'm back for part 2 of my ghost stories. And I thought I'd keep the lights on for this because I want to show you something on the computer. Okay, this one is not really a ghost story, but it is a friend of mine had a diabetic seizure or something from his sugar spiked and he had a seizure and he went into a coma from there. And they said that it was so bad that he was brain dead. So they put him on a machine for a while. And while he was on that machine, my friends and I would visit him. And he hung on for a while. We would go up there and we would talk to him. So one night, he was still hanging on. This was in September of 2021. Bob and I decided to have a campfire outside the house here. And we were sitting around talking. And of course, I was talking to Becky, you know. She's a mutual friend that was going to see Johnny and everything. And he loved her very much. Johnny did, you know. And I am definitely shortening the story, leaving out a lot of details, but they're not important. So we were talking and we were chatting on Messenger, and we were talking about, you know, it's sad and that he didn't have a lot of people to be there for him because he also had some mental issues that he is like he was estranged from a lot of his friends just because he couldn't interact very well. He had some social disorders. So we were talking and we were discussing things, and this message come through from her end. And so I'll show you real quick. I can't turn this around without editing it, so I'm just going to show you. And the message is right down here, so you will hear it. So this was my message. I said it's okay. It was awkward since Bonnie hadn't been up there. That was Johnny's mom. The nurse was trying to fill me in without actually filling me in. And this come through. I was never here. I was never here. And so we were actually like, that didn't, I mean, we were talking about whether Johnny was like in his body, and I had felt like maybe he might have been there while I was there. Like I was hoping he would have been there while I was there talking to him. And then that message came through. And I thought, well, that was weird. Maybe there was just, maybe somebody accidentally hit the send button and their TV was on in the background or something, but the message said, I was never there. And I got goosebumps listening to it, you know, and Becky just went on to say, did they say who got him there? You know, asking me about, you know, the whole, this was like, I don't know if she'd been up there to see him yet, maybe something like that. I'm trying to remember. It's been a couple of years. But I said, I felt like Johnny's spirit was hanging in the room. I said, every time I touched his arm, his heart rate went up a couple of beats. And she said, wow, I'll be praying for him. Well, I was way off. Because, again, this message is what came through. I was never here. He literally was telling me, because I was saying that he was never there. So, yeah, I had my wires crossed. And then she said she'll be praying for him. And I just said, me too, Becky. So then it goes on a day. And I see that message comes through and it's bothering me. So I said, Becky, did you happen to accidentally send me that little voice message? And I oops, let me turn that down. I circled it and I sent it to her, and she's looking at it and she goes, I must have. And then she blew it off, like, and then started talking to me if I had heard anything more about Johnny, because like I said, he was still alive, but he was on machines. And I said, no, unfortunately, nothing has changed. And we talked some more. And then, so that was on the, let's see. So that came through on the 25th. And so then she finally comes back to me on the 26th later that day. And she goes, okay, I'm getting a little off track. Oh, it was on the 27th. So 2 days later, she's finally looking at the messages. And she goes, I just listened to that voice recording you asked if I sent you. She said, it looks like it came from me. She goes, but I didn't record that. She goes, it freaked me out when I heard it. And then I said, I know, I think it was very strange. Almost like Johnny was telling us that his spirit left his body before he ever came to the hospital. And she said it sounded scary to her, like the voice was freaky. And I said, I understand that. It can be scary. She goes, I hope it was Johnny and not someone in her house. And I reassured her. I said, yeah, I think it was Johnny. It didn't sound like a physical voice. And the message I was typing to you below that was that I thought his spirit was in the room. And I think that he came to you also. I know he loved you very much. And so then, yeah, so we were both on the same page there, that it, was probably Johnny coming through and reassuring us that he wasn't in his body. And it's so interesting that they can do that, we have that ability, and he wanted to make sure that we knew. And he hadn't even passed. He didn't pass until the 1st of October of 2021. So he passed about just a few days after Becky and I had the conversation, and I played that voice message. So yeah, it's kind of a ghost story, but then it's not. So yeah, things beyond the veil aren't just, people that have left us. It's us, Anyway, I hope everybody has a wonderful Halloween, and I just wanted to share that with you. To me, it's amazing that those things, that we can still get messages from the other side. I've even heard of astral traveling, and people that are awake see the person that's astral traveling, and they think it's a ghost, but it's not. So there you have it. And that was my part 2. And I think I'll just stop there. I have a lot of UFO stories. So maybe I'll share some of those with you eventually. But I hope you guys have a wonderful day and a wonderful Halloween. And don't forget to check Maria and Orsi and I day before Halloween for some supernatural trivia.